This is going to be a new series, and if it's actually received well, I'll make it a weekly thing. Now I'll be talking about the things games get right. This is 10 nails that Division 2 hits on the head. You're watching Sons of the Abyss Gaming. Welcome to my channel.
I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family, credit cards and the scammers, hitting the licks in the van, legacies.
The devs behind the Division 2 really have crafted a living, breathing world here. From raccoons scurrying away from you to cats eating its prey in the middle of the street. Washington DC has never felt so great in a game before. I really get a I Am Legend type of vibe when running around and seeing the different deer scatter about and also all the wildlife, all the plants growing. It just gives me that I Am Legend vibe, which I really happen to dig. Now there are other wildlife including crows, squirrels, dogs, bald eagles, and others I'm sure I'm forgetting. It's one of the highlights of the game is how much wildlife they actually put into the game and how much interaction wildlife actually have with each other. Now this really does help create a believable and immersive living world, a mechanic that's sadly missing from many looter shooters. But the living world is pointless if there's nothing to do. Well, luckily the gameplay loop here is strong. It's another nail the Division 2 hits right on the head. This is mostly thanks to the mission variety. Now think of Witcher 3. Think of how its open world just makes you feel like you're always upgrading your guy. You're always getting new gear. Well, that's exactly kind of how the Division does it, just a little bit more toned down. So its open world is most compared to Witcher 3 in my opinion. Now a lot of people might disagree, but that's just my opinion. Now this would not be the case. This gameplay would not be as strong as it is if it wasn't for the next thing on the list: the satisfying and the rewarding loot. The loot system in the Division 2 is such a breath of fresh air, especially when you compare it to the other recent releases of the same genre. Almost every piece of gear you earn is helping you build your character, and if you agree with that statement, go ahead and smash that like button for me. It has a very RPG feel to it, which I really get addicted to. It's always feeling like you're changing up your gameplay style every time you switch out a weapon, and not to mention how often this loot drops. It drops so often, and that's what makes it so great. You get loot all the time. Everything you do feels rewarding. It's made even more rewarding though. With the next nail the Division 2 absolutely hits on the head: the weapon customization. One major thing that many shooter titles kind of fail to make rewarding are gun attachments and personalization. Thankfully, Massive Entertainment understands this, the developers behind the game, and as it being a Tom Clancy title, we kind of expect the weapons to be on par with the other games, which they learned from the lack of weapon attachments in the Division 1. Don't get me wrong, the Division 1 did have weapon attachments, just not like it is here. Now these attachments can be crafted or they can be found in the open world and can also be earned from faction projects and quest rewards. There are many types of attachments, including a wide selection of scopes, lasers, silencers, and mag attachments, and many others, and they actually make your weapon look a little bit more heavy, a little bit more badass. Not to mention that many weapon skins you're able to find and earn make your gun have a little bit more flair. Now feeling a sense of accomplishment is a very common occurrence in the Division, which is a very important factor. But weapons aren't the only form of personalization you get. No, let's move to the next on the list: character customization. At first look, it may seem like the Division cosmetics are actually ordinary and very basic, but this is far from the truth. There's a very surprising amount of cosmetic items in this game, including a variety of hats, neck-like items including scarves and dog tags and necklaces, shirts, pants, shoes, masks, and even accessories for your backpack. And these items don't just look boring. I mean, some do, don't get me wrong, but there's some cool things out there that you'll actually want to get to improve your character to make them look a little bit more like you. But that's not the best part. The way you acquire these cosmetics are what puts this nail on the list. Now simply by adding these cosmetics to the open world loot pool makes the overall experience that much more rewarding. I mean, you can go open a chest and randomly get a cosmetic. It feels good. It adds to that satisfying gameplay loop we mentioned at the very beginning of the video. But there's one other way to get these cosmetics, and it's actually a weird thing on this list that I'm probably gonna get some hate for, but hear me out. The sixth nail hit by Division 2's hammer is no other than the microtransactions. I know, why the hell would I put microtransactions on a list about the best parts of a game? Well, it's simply done in the right way. You never feel like you're forced to buy anything. Now there's two main ways of buying items, which yes, they are all cosmetic only. One way is in the form of loot boxes. You can buy keys with real world money to open these said boxes. Usually I would be frustrated by this, but you can actually craft and earn these keys for free through gameplay. and it honestly adds a different way of getting cosmetics for free, which adds another carrot on the stick type of mechanic, which is always great. It drives the player to go and earn more stuff, and it doesn't feel like you're forced to empty your wallet just to look the way you want. Now, another good thing about the cosmetics, I rarely come across people who look the same as me. I mean, it happens every once in a while, but there actually is a good difference between every player, and it makes you feel a little bit more unique. Now, if desired, I can make further videos going into more details on how to get these cosmetic items. Now, another form of microtransactions is just a simple store page filled with cosmetic items that refreshes every few days. Now, why? Why the hell would I feel comfortable putting this on the list? Well, the microtransactions are done in the right way, and when this is the case, I feel it's very important and necessary to mention it. And while I agree they shouldn't exist in the first place in full price titles, it's honestly done well here. Not to mention, because of these, we're actually going to be able to get all the main DLC coming for completely free, though there is a season pass that grants early access, which I really don't care for at all, but I still felt like it deserved to be on the list of things done right. Now, I know this next nail on the list is a little controversial, but in my opinion, it's actually done very well. Now, I'm of course talking about the end game. The original Division had a real endgame problem, and as fans of this genre know, endgame is very important to nail when it comes to looter shooters. And the Division 2 was actually developed around its endgame in mind, so Massive Entertainment actually learned from its biggest mistake, the original game, and as a result, it's done very well. It feels very good. It's awesome, honestly. I love the endgame, even though a lot of people will tell you otherwise. Yes, it has a lot of problems that need solutions, but the overall endgame is very strong here, and there's a very good foundation to build upon. Now, there are many things to do and earn post-game, and actually to some players, it's when the real fun begins. Now, tuning your gear is a main focus. It feels as if you're always building and improving upon your agent, even far past the max level. But there's one more thing that the Division 2 absolutely gets right, and that would be the realistic sounds and gun handling in the game. The attention to detail when it comes to this damn game is so incredible. Just put on a pair of headphones and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. From gunfire to the weather effects to the environmental effects, all sound is impactful. Gunfire varies from weapon to weapon, which gives all the guns in the game a unique feel, which a lot of games actually don't have. Not to mention the realistic recoil the game aims for. It just adds to the already satisfying weapons and gunplay, and it makes it very easy to enjoy this game. Every weapon you get, you want to try out. Even if a weapon has higher damage, a different weapon might suit you better because of how it plays. I love this mechanic in a shooter, and it's kinda necessary to enjoy the game. Now, another thing that is sorely missing in a lot of titles, and it's actually the ninth nail on our list, that would be enemy variety. Now, as surprising as it may seem with a game that tries to focus on realism, the Division 2 actually manages to keep enemy variety fresh and new. Now, with 3 factions and 1 more joining the party after completing the game, you never really get bored. At least I don't, not yet anyways. Now, I'm always having to move my position, having to learn and think about the new enemy mechanics, which is half due to the better AI in the game. But this is a big improvement over the first Division, and it helps make the game feel as good as it does. But enemy variety isn't the only selling point for this game. The final nail Division 2 hits hard on the head is location variety and world building. Wow, holy shit, I'm not sure if I've ever enjoyed exploring environments so much in a game before. Washington DC is so well and realistically implemented, it just impresses me. Some areas include museums, art exhibits, and many monuments, not to mention the many other unique locations. Now, these locations are actually based in DC, so if you've never been to Washington and want to see how beautiful it is, well, all you have to do is buy the Division 2. It honestly amazes me how well DC is represented here. It's easily my favorite and most appealing aspect of the game, and that's not even where it stops. World building here is done perfectly. Every time I saw new graffiti, I couldn't help but stop and take in the art. Sometimes they actually had important messages about some factions. It's really cool. And there are also cell phones and other collectibles that deepen and expand the world lore, with many backstories from both allies and enemies. Now, one of my favorite collectibles are these found footage tapes that you can actually find in the open world. Now, I cannot explain to you how awesome these are. They're really well done. I love these, but I really wish there were more of these tapes because there's not many and then they're pretty short. Now, all of these things combined make for a very, very incredible overall immersive experience. Hell, I was walking past this missing person billboard. I couldn't stop but read every name on that damn billboard and wasted about 20 minutes, but I didn't regret a damn thing. This really does make the gaming experience kind of come together. All 10 of these things definitely deserve to be on this list, but if you disagree with me, that's fine. Let me know in the comments below why. Give me some points. Let's have a discussion about it. Guys, I can't recommend this game enough, especially if you like looter shooters with some very well done RPG mechanics. Now, I obviously enjoy this game a lot and plan to do videos covering the title, so if you have any suggestions for a video at all, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe if you do enjoy the content and want to be a part of this small but growing community and just want to help me improve as a creator. As always, thank you for watching and being with me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one, but wait 1 second. Let me know what you think about the series. I know it's basically just a top 10 what games do well type of video, but I like to put a little bit of uniqueness to it, even if it's just changing the name. Let me know if it was a success or a failure down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much. I wish you nothing but the best. I'll see you guys later.
I got broads in Atlanta, just to the lean the family, credit cards in the scam.